When you have an energetic awakening, whether you want to call that Kundalini or a different type of awakening, when it is that energetic type, you can have something called a kriya. Kriya is a term used from those that want to talk about Kundalini specifically. And a kriya is when that energy rises up. And so your body can do some pretty interesting things when you have an energetic awakening and when these kriyas happen. So I like to call mine energetic breathing. And so what happens to me when I have these kriyas is that I can feel energy coming from kind of my Hara region or sometimes like my midriff, and it comes up and out through my mouth. And so it's like shivering. It's like I'm hyperventilating or shivering, and it sounds like this, like that. And so I get this not only like in one situation, I have it when I give Reiki to people. And when I give Reiki to people and I can sense when there is a lot of energy blocked in one area, I get that breathing. And to me, what that is the energy unblocking from them and coming out through me. That's the way I see it. But I also have these kriyas even just on my own. And so, like, I'll just be lying, relaxing, or something that just suddenly comes out of nowhere. And I do the whole energetic breathing. I've noticed though that it does tend to happen now when I'm having like an emotional thought, or like I've had this idea that feels really impactful, and I feel like it's my own energy confirming that this thought is important to me. And so I feel like there's multiple reasons that we have these kriyas, but it is something to do with the energy moving, not only within ourselves, but when we're around others as well. They're not painful, and they can show up in many different ways for people. Some people have more of like a bodily movement rather than feeling it like coming up like that. Like they'll maybe have twitches, or they'll move their hands in a certain way, or like little quirks that we have. This is the one that I happen to have developed. I noticed that my kriyas in the first month through to about the 6th month were very frequent. So I would have my kriyas, I would say, gosh, like maybe at least like 5 or 6 times an hour when I first had my awakening. Then maybe reduced down to like 4 times across like every day for about 6 months. And then they gradually started to calm down as the energy integrated into my body more. But I still have them. I still have like one or two a day. Like we're talking years, like after I still have these kriyas, this energetic breathing. And like I said, when I give Reiki, obviously I feel it as well, but then it'll happen multiple times throughout a Reiki session with someone. But when it's just on my own, I can have it 1 to 2 times a day. I have found though that when I get the kriya, so the energetic breathing, it doesn't happen when I'm out and about so much. It's like when you're in a very, very relaxed state, it comes up. So it tends to happen in the evening, or sometimes like first thing in the morning, or if I'm just relaxing. But when I'm out and about or with company with people, it doesn't seem to happen. I have noticed that I do start to feel it about to happen, and it's like I say to my body, like, don't do it, don't do it, and it kind of restrains it and it doesn't fully come up. And that was the one thing that I was super worried about when I first had my awakening, because I was still working in a corporate job. I was mostly working from home, but I did go into the office once a week, and I was really worried that I was going to have this energetic breathing when I was in work in front of people. And obviously, that would be quite concerning for other people if they don't know what it is. I find that when I'm giving Reiki to people, I do tell them in advance. I say, you know, if you hear me do this, it's just the energy moving. And it kind of gives them a heads up, don't worry if you hear that, because it is harmless. It's harmless for them, harmless for me. It's literally just energy moving. But if I'm out and about on a bus or in a job situation and I suddenly do this weird breathing, I think people would be like, "Are you okay?" So yeah, it's good that it doesn't happen in public. It probably has happened like once or twice in a situation where there's not like people right next to me, so that they don't like literally hear it or notice. But yeah, for the most part, it doesn't happen when I'm out and about. But you, other than that, it's like you can't control them. I find that the further things have gone down the line and the more that the energy has integrated into my body, like I feel that I can control them a little bit more. But when they first happened, it was like I had zero control. Like these were just happening. They were just happening. My body was just doing it. Had no idea what was going on. Um, it was just happening, and you can't control them. It's just the energy is rising, whether we want it to or not. But as it begins to calm down, we do have more control, maybe over our emotional thoughts, or you can kind of like shift your mind while it's happening. And I would say as well that for me, the energetic part of the awakening has been a big part in me believing in what has happened to me. So if you have a spiritual awakening where it's just in the mind and not in the body, for some people, and I would say for me, is that after the initial impact of this is amazing, this is happening, I have all these thoughts, I would start to slowly not believe anymore and start to like fall back into, our day to day and forget about what happened and start to think, did that really happen? But when it's an energetic thing and you have physically felt it in your body, you have no choice but to believe that this is real. And that's the thing that has kept me on track on believing that this is real, because it cannot, no matter if someone says to me, you have not had an awakening, you have not had this, they literally cannot take away the fact that I have physically felt this. And I think that's one of the most incredible things about an energetic awakening, like a Kundalini awakening, because you have to believe in it, because you're physically feeling it. You are physically feeling that there is a spiritual side to us and a spiritual world out there, and we are so much more than just humans. It's incredible to experience that. And there's all the thoughts and the mental side of things, like as in like the thinking process of it, that is also incredible, but that physically feeling it is just on a whole other level. And so yeah, if you would like to experience a Kundalini awakening, or it doesn't even have to be what you refer to as a Kundalini awakening. It's just the most common word for an energetic awakening. But if you would like to experience that, as I have said in my previous videos, like I do have a Hara Reiki program, which is a 3-month one-to-one program, where you can go through the process that I went through of clearing and opening your Hara, your heart, and your third eye, so that you can have an energetic awakening. And you will also experience kriyas, which is that energetic, well, for me, energetic breathing, but for you, it might show up in a different way. And it's just so incredible. And you'll also have the thought processes that change alongside it, and all the other wonderful spiritual gifts and process and things that come along with your awakening. Also, if you've had a Kundalini awakening already, feel free to reach out. I would love to connect and hear about what your experience was like. I'll catch you in the next video, and have a great day. Thanks.